What's going on, everybody? I'm Aslan Hajavandi, joined by recruiting analyst for Warchant.com, Michael Langston, part of your ultimate Seminoles sports source, Warchant.com. Use that promo code Warchant30 for 30 for days of access. If you want to save up some dollars, I understand. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel? That's free of charge. But please, no matter what, whether you pay or don't pay, hit the like button. It matters. We really appreciate that stuff. Truly, we really do. All right, Michael, let's talk about recruiting. That's what you're here for. And the running back position. This was a position going into 2018. We're like, man, Florida State is stacked. 5-star Cam Akers, Kalen Lake, Jaquez Patrick, get some. And then obviously with Cam leaving and Jaquez having graduated after 18, running back was one of those weird sort of positions we were a little bit concerned about. But they restocked this past season on the recruiting trail. What's Florida State up to these days when it comes to running backs? And just how important is it for them to get the numbers they want?
Yeah, it's certainly big for them to get the right guy, get the guys that fit, and I think they want different type of backs. And I think people notice that when they look at our hot board. And by the way, I'm working on that this week, 2021 hot board. So, but today we're going to kind of break down a few of the running backs. We're going to focus on 3 of them who I think they're heavily involved with. First one is the guy that has the biggest news already is Catravion Hargrove. He officially decommitted from Louisiana Tech. I don't think that's really a shocker to anybody because he has offers from Baylor, FSU, Penn State, Mississippi State, all these Boston College, all these schools have already offered him. So I think the expectation was, that commitment's not going to stick. I talked to Catravion, and he told me, and he listed it in this way: FSU, Penn State, and South Carolina were his 3 teams that he was kind of focused on. I think FSU has developed a really good relationship there. They definitely have a solid shot there. I think he's a guy who wants to see a few of these schools, and definitely FSU. He mentioned as being the first place he wanted to check out. He has a really good people that are connected to Catravion. They are close with David Johnson, so that's helped them a lot in this recruitment. Not so much Catravion with David himself, but just people around him. So that's kind of helped FSU really get into the picture. This kid's very special. Vision's good, speed, pull away speed, and certainly a guy that FSU, out of all those schools, FSU's been on him probably the longest, or one of the longest as far as offering him very early, and just an exciting guy to watch. I mean, he kind of fits that 4-back system, what FSU wants, which is basically a mixture of a running back / receiver, kind of the Corey Wren type of position that we saw in 2020. This kid kind of does the same things as Corey Wren's got really good breakaway speed and pulls away easily. So I think this is a guy that's blowing up. We've mentioned this guy constantly, and Hargrove is definitely a guy that I think is out of all those schools, I would say FSU is the team that has the most momentum, just based on what I hear with Catravion and just from my FSU contacts. Then the other one is Jalen White from Dothan, Alabama, over there in Aslan's neck of the woods. He's a guy they've been on for a while. Now it's the top 10. FSU, Florida, South Carolina. Those are the main schools I hear in this recruitment. I think FSU is probably the team that sits in the best position currently. He hasn't visited Florida, so he hasn't really. There isn't a look there. I think Florida is the main competition. I think South Carolina is in there as well, but I think Florida State is the team currently that kind of holds the edge. He's going to visit both FSU and Florida when he's able to see campuses. It's another guy that really liked the culture and really likes that Norvell offense because it fits him in just about every way. When you watch his film, he can do kickoffs, he can do special teams, which Norvell loves. Very good receiver out of the backfield, very good between the tackles. It's a guy that fits FSU in every possible way. So certainly they have some good developing momentum there. And then probably the last guy is Byron Cardwell. And he's the guy probably I think they're recruiting the hardest. If I had to speculate, from out of I think California, West Coast kid, really has some good connections already with Dillingham. He knows the Norvell offense very well. Several teams like Cal, FSU, want to say mentioned Washington and FSU more than he did any school when we talked to him. When I talked to him a while back, Florida just recently offered, but I think he's got a lot of solid connections with the FSU staff early. They got on him early. He really liked the straightforward approach by Norvell. I mean, they told him exactly what it's going to be, the good things, the bad things, the hard work, and negative, positive. I think they were very transparent about everything, and that really connected with Byron, where kind of what he's looking for. He's a guy that's a bigger back than those other two guys. But this kid's special. I mean, you see the way he pulls away from players. Great pull away speed, great size. Kind of big for a running back, but does a lot of, very good between the tackle runner. That's the thing I noticed enough is his vision and what he does between the tackles, and then that explosion to hit that next level. He finishes runs hard. So I think he's the guy, if I had to pick, that they probably want the most. If they had a pick out of the three and you told them, hey, you can get this guy, they'd probably take Cardwell. I think he would be, their top choice. And I think FSU is in his top two. That's based on the feeling I get with people around him, people, talk to. And certainly anytime you're dealing with a West Coast kid, you have to worry about distance. But he didn't seem like that was a big deal. And people, just to check on that, I checked with people around him if that was a big deal, and even FSU contacts, and there's been no indication that it's really any kind of big deal. In fact, he has family, I've heard, in the South, so I don't think it's going to be a determining factor overall. So as you can see, those are just three options. You also have Kwan Powell out of Vernon that we didn't even discuss, but those three are kind of the guys that I'm kind of focused on as far as the running back position. And as you can see, Aslan, not only are they in position with some very talented backs, but they position themselves good as far as where things are at currently, as far as setting the stage. And certainly they would like to get one or two of these guys in this class. I think between 1 to 3 is kind of the number, but I think probably 1 or 2, the two are what they're looking for. And as you can see, each one of these backs are different. That's what they want. They want 2 different backs as far as the skill set and what they bring.
They're definitely stocking about the position. I think I read a report recently about one of the recruits saying that, Coach Mike Norvell told him that it'd be the hardest thing he's ever done in his life coming to Florida State. They don't want anybody that's going to be scared of any sort of competition. They're loading up at the running back position. Michael Langston, I'm Aslan Javani. Thanks for watching this edition of Warchant TV.